Welcome to the Ripple Effect Martial Arts Podcast.
Today, we're super excited to have the newest Ripple Effect Martial Arts School opening is in Broomfield, Colorado. And we're with Mr. Alan Ogle and Mrs. Kelly Ogle. And super excited to talk to you guys and about what this means for martial arts in Colorado and for you guys yourselves. So welcome aboard. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's get a little bit of a background. Mr. Ogle, you were raised in Bermuda, is that right?
Yes.
How did you get there?
Wow, long story. My dad's from Bermuda, so through various events, that's where I was raised. So yeah.
He was born here in Colorado.
Oh, no way. And so you went from Colorado to Bermuda?
Yep. I don't know. I think I was one when that happened. Stuff between my dad and my mom at the time. So yeah, I was about 16 years there. Pretty awesome. Couldn't ask for a better place to get raised.
You were, what, a mile from the beach?
Not even that. It was just across the street.
Across the street from the beach. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tough.
I'm sure there was a lot of things that were tough about it, for sure. Mrs. Ogle, let's just transfer right there. Where are you from?
I am one of the only natives left in Colorado. No, I was born and raised here. Went to school, did gymnastics as a kid in Arvada. So just kind of all in the Denver. I grew up in the Denver metro area.
Gymnastics growing up did your parents get you into that?
I would do backflips off my couch when I was like 5. Me and my brother would put the beanbag chair at the bottom of the stairs and we would do diving leaps into the beanbag chair. We would jump off the banisters into the couch. So at some point, I think I was around 8 or 9 when my parents decided that so I tried ballet first and I tried tap dance and I started doing flips on the floor. And so they just realized that I probably should be in gymnastics. And so I was in gymnastics for about 9 years and I coached through high school. And then my body just kind of started falling apart. And then I was also varsity gymnastics in high school and then varsity track. I was ranked 3rd on the track team for sprints. So yeah, I've been pretty athletic my whole life.
What? So there's a lot to break down there. Let's start with you're doing backflips off the couch, right? So when I was a kid, we saw the Karate Kid and we were trying to hook kick each other to the face. And so the instant thing from a parent, well, is there some sort of structure where they'll teach you how to do this, where you won't get hurt or something? Is there some parallel there to martial arts for you?
So for me, I actually never thought of martial arts as a kid. My brother was in martial arts. He went through Taekwondo. He did martial arts for maybe a couple years. He didn't get to his black belt. So I mean, martial arts, I guess, was in the family. It was just not something that I necessarily thought I would do. I was more into the, flying off of a bar or beam. A little bit more dangerous, I guess. So it was 12 years?
Somewhere around there, 11 or 12, yeah.
11 or 12 years ago is when we started martial arts. But I know you did martial arts as a kid.
Yep, I did it for, I don't know, maybe 2 years as a kid in Bermuda. That was just karate that I did that.
Yeah, what was that like in Bermuda? What was the martial arts experience like?
That was cool. The dojo, the owners and the instructors, it was one of those dojos where they lived in the dojo, just off to the side. So it was pretty neat. Nice little small community. Actually, the gentleman that that trained us, he just passed away last year. But yeah, I was a couple years there, and then right out of high school, I did ninjutsu for a little bit, and then just kind of got into this with our daughter. So it's been kind of off and on a little bit throughout the years.
Off and on throughout the years, but you still stay in touch enough to know that your former sensei had passed away, huh?
Yeah, I try to keep up with a few things.
That's great. That squares with my experience in the martial arts. So when you were growing up as a child, basically, or a youth, what was your impression of your instructors? Was it like, I want to follow in your footsteps, I'm inspired, or what?
Their son, Zenji, he really inspired me. He was really good. But his father, I guess the head instructor, he was pretty hardcore. He was very scary, very mean, but also very, nice, but old school,
Bringing out the best in
yeah.
you.
Really, really big guy. He was really well built, so he was pretty well respected and feared in the community there. In a good way, obviously.
Yeah, I elaborate on that a little bit. So what is that like because I think that is a dynamic between instructor and student to this day, that you need an instructor that is going to be stern, tough, not necessarily big, but strong and impulsive. And is that true in your experience as an instructor to younger students now?
Yeah, definitely. They all look up to us, for the leadership, for just all around skill, somebody, where they want to get to and achieve one day. And it's a pretty awesome feeling, I would say, when they're coming in and, giving you a little note or something like that, or even hugs are kind of cool. Some of the kids will just come up and give us a hug to say goodbye, and it's why some of the parents come to us to be that bad guy, so to speak, to help the kid get, if there's discipline issues going on at home or at school. I don't know. They tend to
Yeah,
listen to us, which is pretty cool.
they love to be able to throw that out at home.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell Mr. Ogle. Oh no! I'll straighten up. I mean, I don't view myself personally as a scary, this big instructor, but that's how I'm viewed. You know what I mean? Like, I guess I'm the most feared out of me and Master Burton are the most feared out of the karate school. I don't see myself that way, but it's just that respect that we get as the leaders of the location. It's really kind of cool. And it's really cool seeing students come in that had discipline issues at the beginning, and just watching them grow into such amazing humans. I think that's the most rewarding part of being a part of this.
Do you recognize the discipline issues on your own? Do parents communicate that? These are some issues that we're having. Can you help with this? Or is it something that you can recognize and address?
I would say a little bit of both. It is our job to pay attention to that on the floor. And, I mean, parents do come in kind of at their wits' end, like we need help. Our kid is out of control at home, and they come in here and they act perfectly fine. So it's really cool to be able to not only coach the kid, but also coach the parent on how to, help their child be a better human in our society. So it's a little bit of both, I would say.
I would say we have a lot of experience as well, because that's how we got started with our daughters. Not everybody comes in because it's a discipline issue, but the experience that we had with our kids as we were going through the program relates really well when we're talking to some of the parents about you basically been there, done that, and this is what helped, this is what worked. And
speaking about that kind of experience, I know that Mr. Ogle, you have ROTC and then Navy experience, and then your oldest daughter maybe has Air Force.
Middle daughter, middle age. Yeah.
Okay, so middle daughter went into the Air Force. Did your experience in the military, did martial arts, I guess I'm asking, help translate that experience to your kids at all?
Maybe a little bit with the kids, but more so martial arts, because it's very similar structure, I suppose. That makes sense, for like hierarchy and so on. So going into martial arts, is very similar to me, the discipline aspect of it.
And it really did align with how we were raising our kids.
Yeah.
I mean, we started because our youngest was in an after school program. And that's pretty much how this all started, was the karate school went to an after school program. And that was probably the first sport that she actually liked. And so that's kind of how we got started. And then we were talked into doing it with, and then we thought that, because, with our middle child, very ADHD, and we went through therapy, we did all kinds of things to help her. And it just seemed like martial arts. I mean, like once we got the whole family into martial arts, except for our oldest daughter, but we got the two girls and then us in martial arts. It not only helped Trinity, we saw the passion that Michaela had for it, but it also brought us closer as a family.
Mm-hmm.
They say, families that kick together stick together. It is 100% true. We loved it as a family because it's a sport that we can do together. You can't say that about any other sport. It's just amazing. It's amazing. It's been an amazing thing for us.
Yeah. Everything from competing with each other, and because we're all pretty competitive and challenging, helping each other train and practice, and just being able to grow with them,
it made us very tight.
Awesome.
Made us very tight.
How is that competitive aspect? Anybody who's listening that doesn't know and isn't familiar with this vocabulary, we often refer to the parents as coaches. Whether they're on the mat with the kids or not, the parents are coaches. The parents are, doing that. So when you're competing with your kids, what do you mean by that? What happens there?
Yeah, I would say, I don't know. That's a crazy question.
Well, it's just like, not only are we helping our kids,
we're pushing each other, right?
Yeah.
We're everything from just simple, fix your front stance or something like that. But it's like say Trinity, she was able to do these vertical kicks, so it was pushing us to, we gotta up our game.
Yeah.
Or let's say Michaela's knowledge of forms, right? It was, well, we've got to do better, and so forth. So it was just this constant, in a healthy way, supporting each other, but also that little bit of a challenge of, oh, you're not going to be faster than me, or you're not going to beat me in sparring or something like that. So it was helping us get better in all areas, I would say. Yeah,
we coached them just as much as they coached us.
Yeah,
I mean, that's pretty much the bottom line. It just became a very amazing tool for us as a family.
That's awesome. And you really brought out some things that I was kind of thinking about. So in sparring, you have in point sparring, who gets the most points, who gets a point quicker, who makes a strike quicker and you get the point. There can be a horse stance exercise where who can hold that horse stance the longest.
Yep.
Falls down is the one who hadn't done it. And we have a minute of front punches and horse stance, and who gets the most punches and things like that. And that kind of competition can be really healthy and really wonderful. Obviously, that's what you're referring to as actual coaches. So you are in charge of a school. When you go to a tournament, you're judges at a tournament. What's that like? Challenging?
Yeah, it can be challenging at times,
but rewarding. Very rewarding. Just watching, a lot of these kids we've known since they were little. And so just seeing their progression and just how well they're doing, I don't know, it's very rewarding to be in that position. And also, to be on that side of it, because we've also been on the other side as a competitor. So just learning about that side of it it's pretty rewarding.
Yeah.
I think, just to backtrack a little bit, I think the other thing, doing the sport with our kids, I think the other part of it is too, it's so different to be on the floor versus being on the bench. Because when you're on the floor, it's like, what they're going through 100%. It's hard, at times, it's fun at times, it's a much different environment when you're actually on the floor training with your kids.
Mr. Ogle, what's your thought on that?
I'd like to get more parents out on the floor to really experience what we went through with our kids. And, like my wife said, this is one of those things that you get to do with You can't do that with any other sport, really. You're just a spectator.
And you're never too old. I'm 42 years old and I am running, circles around some of those kids. And it's because of martial arts, I'm able to do that. And that's the thing, parents get stuck in that, well, this is a kid's sport, or no, it's not. It's for everyone. Mm-hmm. Young, old, it's for everyone.
Yeah. I still remember our first retreat black belt test. Do you remember that one?
Oh, I was so sore.
Most of the parents, they're always up and supporting their kids and stuff, but to do it with them is completely different. And at the end of the weekend, to see what we all went through together as a family, and of course as with all of our other teammates and so on, it's something pretty special to see them, because we know we can do it. It's not to say that we're good, but as adults, we know the challenges that are ahead, and for the kids to be able to have watch them overcome it, get through all the hard times and the fun times and everything together, and you have that sense of accomplishment as a whole, as all of us as a family, was pretty special.
Thank you for listening to the Ripple Effect Martial Arts Podcast. Find episodes and more at rippleeffectmartialarts.com.